कालकालकालेश्वराय शिव शिव सर्वेश्वराय शंभो शंभो महादेवाय। Namaskaram to all of you. As most of you already know, that this day signifies the birth of the first guru, in the sense is audio okay? What does birth of a guru mean? Well, the birth of an individual human being, of course, means the day he was delivered from one's mother's womb. That's not what we're talking about. It is very natural when something very profound and when something very precious happens to you, inevitably you tend to withdraw from the din of the daily world. So did Adiyogi, moved into mountain regions. Those of you who come from the cities, you should not think mountains means it's a hill station. Mountains where normally there are no people, no movement especially, because when you come to a certain level of awareness and sensitivity, one problem is every movement that somebody makes unconsciously hurts in some way. So naturally you like to be in a place where there is nobody, there's no unnecessary movement. Some kind of situation which will complement the inner stillness. People around me have this trouble all the time because when I'm socially active, I'm more social than most people. Probably I've taken more selfies than most other people. But when I'm alone, even a smallest movement, one extra word irritates me. because, well, that's where you would like to be. But you cannot work with the world like that. So, from the profoundness of stillness to profaneness of activity is not a choice for any sensible human being. It's a choice in terms of what is needed around you. And when Adiyogi chose to ignore everybody around him and simply sat there or danced or did whatever he wanted, from there, when he decided to share, he turned south. That's where we are. But those days, anything south of Himalayas was considered south. So even the North Indians can feel good. You were also south. He turned south. One thing is indicating the movement of the sun towards the south. Another dimension is given today, in English language at least, not in the Indian languages, but in the English language, when we say south, we are indicating going down. In the stock market, the prices are going south, means it's going down. This is the prejudice of the North Pole. They think south is somewhere lowly. But for those of you who do not know, equator is in many ways the highest point on the planet. So he turned south, indicating that he is breaking all the social norms. No more somebody being more eligible than the other, one clan of people being superior to the other, people who claim superiority by birth or by association. He's trying to demolish all that by turning south. He's saying the highest knowledge will be delivered by facing south, which was considered the most inauspicious. If you do not know this, human prejudice is such that even today, in most villages, the southern end of the village is always the low-caste people are supposed to stay at the southern end of the village. Even today it's maintained in most of the villages. So he turned south, indicating there is no caste, there is no creed, there is no superiority and inferiority. Every human being who is willing is eligible. This is democratization of knowing and knowledge, that knowledge and dimensions of the beyond are not a property that somebody can hold. He's making sure it's available to everyone. So it's on this day. This time, because of some calculations of the calendar, this is the second full moon after the solstice, but normally it is the first full moon after the solstice that the Guru Purnima happens. So on this day, it's a momentous day because someone of his caliber decided to go through the works of trying to make what is not in people's perception to come into their perception. Whatever is not in your perception, when somebody talks about something that is not in your perception, it sounds illogical or weird or stupid depending upon your judgment. Anything that you cannot understand must be stupid, isn't it? He hesitated, do I need to go through these works? But then he decided. Aren't we glad that he made that decision? That no matter how much ridicule, no matter what all labels people will stick on you, he decided that he will share. This profound being, when he decided it was not a personal decision, this became the way, this became the culture, which bred thousands and thousands of masters through these many millennia. And here we are at the foothills of Velangiri. These mountains, in many ways, are a cascade of his energy and many more who came after him. It is kind of a physical manifestation of this knowing. Right now, with modern technologies, maybe there is some context for people to at least understand this. This would have been very difficult to even speak a century ago, but now that modern technologies are there, that… see, even the Chinese can understand me. They don't know a word of English, and I don't know a word of Chinese, but they can understand me because they got one gadget in their hands. And today, if you have a gadget in your hand, you can know almost anything. You can find out 15,000 years ago, the Guru Purnima, what day of the week was it? You can ask your Google lady. She could tell you probably, it's just a calculation. Because the planet is still was spinning at the same speed as today, so there is no complications about the calculations, it's pretty simple. So you can understand that a piece of plastic and metal can do so many things. It can carry 1,000 hours of music or talks, or it's just coming in the air. So what is in the form of energy can become sound, can become light, can become visuals. You can call this audio, video, whatever, but essentially what is happening is, what is stored in the form of energy is finding expression so that your sensory perception can perceive it in the form of video, audio and various other ways. So once you understand that knowledge, knowing can be stored in the form of an energy, it's much simpler now because there is a context. So in the form of the mountain, fortunately nobody is going to disturb this mountain forever because it's a protected mountain. There is Kailash, in a month's time we are there, and there is Dhyanalinga. Like this, there are many other forms where Knowing is stored in the form of energy. What is a certain level of knowing? To bring it into your intellect, to find logical articulation and to put it across in a way that maybe it sounds absurd, but it doesn't sound stupid. This is very important. People don't mind. If they don't understand something, very important, all of you should know this, married people. If you want to say something to somebody that they anyway won't understand, you have to make it a little complicated. They can understand, I don't understand very complicated things. But when you have to make them realize very simple things they don't understand, there is a danger that you may get dismissed as stupid. So this is the danger that a guru adventures into when he gets into transmission mode, because you have to make it as simple as possible and not sound stupid. Difficult, you know. It's all right if you sound weird, some will leave, but some these days are attracted to the weird. If you sound very complicated, those who believe that they're very intellectual, they will hang on because they have complicated the simplest things in their life. But to simplify the most profound dimensions of life, you're always on the edge of risk that somebody who doesn't have the eye to see what it is will dismiss it as stupid. So this risk Adiyogi ventured into. Since then, so many great beings. What is this all about? Guru, as you know, means one who dispels darkness. To turn on a light, is it so difficult? Yes, turning on the light is not difficult, but to make the blind see is difficult. Turning on the light is easy, because you don't have to turn on the light is always on. You can pretend you turned it on. If you tell them it's always on, nobody will see it. You have to tell them, wait, it's going to come on now. Then they may see it. So, like outwardly, someone who has no vision, to him, to show light is difficult. Similarly, inwardly, to turn on a light to someone who has no inward vision is also the same thing. And what use is light inside? We can easily transplant a bulb inside of you, but you still can't see it. Maybe some light will emanate from your ears and maybe it'll spread here, and that's how people had a halo. But the problem is you still can't see it. When we say light, understanding light like this, something burns and light is shed, not in that sense. Light essentially means, in human perception, light means to see. Something is lit means you can see, something is not lit means you cannot see. Even to see does not mean to physically see. In English language, there is an expression, "Oh, I see." It used to be very common. People used to say, "Ah, I see, I see." As somebody is speaking, they would say, "I see." Not anymore. These days, they use other kinds of words. So the Guru Purnima is significant because it's a reminder that there are dimensions to life. Unless you are provoked and goaded in that direction, you may never even bother to see. It may be the most profound dimension, it may be larger than anything that you know in your life. It could make everything that you have known in your life insignificant, but unless you allow yourself or unless somebody goads you in that direction, you may never even realize there is something like this. Because in the making of a human being, there is one dimension of us which is made for survival. Once you start looking, this happens to you, or if you… the moment you go to school, somebody around you, your parents, your teachers, everybody is trying to tell you, you got to be better than somebody next to you. The moment this aspiration enters your mind, after that, your entire process of life will become survival, because surviving in this world is not a big deal, everybody can survive. But the moment you get into this madness that you want to survive better than somebody, then you're a gone case. Till the last breath till the last moment of your life, you will be only fighting for survival. This is what is happening to majority of the world. You can see this distinctly. As societies get more affluent, they are not more at ease. They are fighting for survival like nobody. Actually, those who have little tribal cultures, they're at ease. If they had their meal, they're quite okay. But affluent societies on the planet are on an overdrive of survival. It's just that they've raised the bar of survival in such a way, it is unreachable because it keeps going up all the time, because somebody else is always doing better than you. Endlessly, it goes on. This one step, they've already done it to you. If you don't do this one thing to your children, that you didn't put this idea that they must survive better than somebody. If this one idea, if you don't put into your children, you've done a very great thing, very, very great thing. What it means is, if you did not put this one corruption into your child's mind, that means you prepared a field where in the next generation, millions of enlightened beings may happen, millions. Because if human beings are released from this one disease, that they want to be better than somebody, rest is… life comes to ease by itself. If this life comes to ease, seeing what is there is a natural process. But Sadhguru, I'm not competing with anybody in the ashram. But I don't see any light bulbs coming up. We must always understand between possibility and reality, there is a distance. The distance need not be great. It is just that even to cover a short distance, you must hold the course. This is the problem with most people. If you observe yourself in 24 hours' time, you would have changed the direction of your life 1,000 times. Right, left, center, everything would have happened. A man was driving in United States in a bit of a remote kind of country road, and then his car stopped because he had a flat tire. Then he walked down to a farm and he asked the farmer, "How far to the gas station?" The farmer said, well, as the crow flies, it's just 4 miles. Then the city bloke looked at him and then he said, "Suppose the crow has to roll a flat tire and go how far?" This may be the problem, you have a flat tire. And to roll it and to keep the course, every day it keeps changing many times. When I say it changes many times. So you woke up in the morning. Unless you are in a certain level of sadhana, morning in yoga center you woke up with a start because dong, dong. If you wake up like this, of course, first you don't wake up spiritually, you wake up with a curse. And you cannot even say it loudly because there is somebody else who is sitting, Shambho, Shambho. Already, before you wake up, somebody is sitting up and doing ch, 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 ch. You slept through all that, but this gong, it's too jarring, you can't ignore that thing. So you woke up and we don't know what all happens, the toothbrush, you shove it into your nose, all kinds of things happen, lack of coordination, you know. Then 5:30 you get spiritual. So you get spiritual 5:30, 5:45, 6 o'clock. Till then there's some activity, Guru Puja, then Surya Kriya, something. Then comes the best part. Now, those of you watching us on the web, don't believe all this. Everybody is doing wonderful sadhana. Ah. I shouldn't have come with a sail. And then of course, there are people monitoring the sadhana. All that happens and again you get little spiritual, Shambhavi. Then you know what happens step by step, so many things. So in a day, just watch how many times your direction and priorities change. All you have to try to do is just this. Next 24 hours, just stay with one priority, absolutely. without shifting for a moment, you will see wonders will happen in 24 hours' time. Because you have the right kind of practice, there's phenomenal energy. Well, I am also still here. If something significant starts happening, I won't ignore you. I'll be right there. So, everything is there, it's just that holding the direction. From here to the entrance, it's called the Malai Vasal, for those of you who do not know, that means the mountain entry or the hill entry. The rock that's sitting on the gate out there, we brought it here with great difficulty. Our boys went there, did some adventure for 1.5 months, because this rock weighs 235 tons. And they transported it all the way, thinking they brought a really big rock. This rock we wanted to put where our present Sarpavasal is. But then when it came, it looked so big and nice, I decided, let's put it up on the gate. And it just shrank visually. Then somebody came and complained, Sadhguru, why the rock has become so small? I said, because it rained, it shrank. And you won't believe they believed. So, when the rock came on the truck, it looked like a mountain. But we put it up there at 21 feet and it just became small. This is how it is. This is how it is. This is the important thing you have to do on this Guru Purnima. Adiyogi means you put him up there, hung him on the calendar, stuck him on the wall, put him in the temple. He's up there, so he's looking very small. You should bring him down to your life. If you bring him down to your life, suddenly you will see it's a humongous presence. We are doing this effectively, a lot more needs to be done. We are de-divining. Is there a word like that? We are taking the divine title of Adiyogi and making him into a human being, because the idea is one who is up there, we are trying to bring him down. We want to bring him down here so that you can feel this powerful presence. Up there, too far up there, Vaikuntham, you know? No, I'm sorry, Kailash. Wrong god. All gods need to be brought down, very important. Only if they're brought down, people will see it is a possibility. Otherwise, they will think it's an unrealistic something that they can just invest a few minutes a week and one incense stick. I'm saying for the first time, I'm noticing this in many homes, they're lighting one incense stick. Not in Delhi. In Delhi means I can understand, maybe because of the air pollution, they're limiting their worship. But one incense stick, it was never done in this culture, nobody ever lights one incense stick, but these days I'm seeing they're lighting one, either because they do not know or they've become very expensive, I don't know what it costs right now because I never light one. This is important, that in this culture, all the people that you have started considering as gods actually walked this geography at one time. You are Shiva, you are Rama, you are Krishna, you name it. All of them walked this land at some time. When they were here, they walked on this land just like you. They struggled, they fought, they did everything that they had to do in those times. But you nailed them to the wall. They went through the process of birth, growing up, struggles, even wars and death, like everybody else. But they lived an extraordinary life. So, we valued them, that's fine. But the moment you make them something other than human, you have taken away the possibility in your life. So this is important. This is very important that everybody in this country and in the world to recognize Shiva as the yogi, because that's what he was and that's why we remember him and that's why he's valuable to us. Otherwise, a man who came and went 15,000 years ago, who cares whether he came or not? Only because of his contribution that we value him. Let's be straight about this. We value human beings only if they contribute to our lives. If they trouble us, we don't value them, isn't it? So Guru Purnima is that day when we are making a god into a man. Very important. Very, very important, because now you see the possibility. It is not beyond you to be like this. It is just that the necessary focus and effort has not been there. That's all. Next 24 hours, I want you to try and see if you can keep your priority just in one direction, not changing. Let's say you're driving from here to Malaivasal. Every 2 minutes, if you change direction, you would have gone everywhere else except there, isn't it? So, this is all you have to do. If you hold your direction, we will give you the turbocharger. But if you're changing your direction all the time, if you turbocharge you may go into the rock, you may go and hit something else. You must hold the direction, this is all your business is. See, even when you're driving, the powering is done by the engine, transmission is done by the transmission system. All you have to do is hold the direction, isn't it? That's all driving is about. Reaching a destination means just that you just have to hold direction. Rest is done. So on this Guru Purnima, I want you to take this up because this is not some kind of an unattainable, some heavenly stuff. This is a human potential. This is a possibility for every human being. The question is only, will you make possibility into reality? It's my wish and my blessings that every one of you should know this. A life of absolute balance and clarity, where nothing is a barrier and you are never an issue about anything. This much you must do to yourself. If you just come to a mental status where you are never an issue in any given situation, your thoughts and your emotions are not the impediments in your life. If you just do as much as this, suddenly you find it is a certain level of mukti. There is a new level of freedom in life simply because you're not the issue. Your thought and your emotion never comes in your own way. You are given legs to walk, you are given brains so that your intelligence works for you. But if it is working against you, the basic work has not been done. That is, You have not harnessed your own faculties. Forget about accessing the cosmos. You have not harnessed your own faculties. This must be done. Next 24 hours, just hold your priority, unmoving. You will see it becomes very simple and easy. Priorities change with every thought, with every emotion, with every situation that comes, priorities keep changing. Because of these changing priorities, life looks very complex. Profound need not necessarily be complex. If you have questions, any kind of questions. Today is Guru Purnima, I'm at your mercy, you can ask me anything.
Sadhguru, it is said that Adi Shankara entered the body of a king and inhabited it for a length of time. Is this actually possible? If so, how? What kind of yogic mastery makes such a feat possible?
It is not really such a feat. Adi Shankara got into an argument with a man. He won the argument. Then that man's wife maneuvered herself into the argument. You know woman? And Adi Shankara is a certain level of logic. You shouldn't argue with a man like that. But she negotiated herself into the argument saying, you defeated my husband, but he's not whole. We are two halves of the same thing, so you must also argue with me. How can you beat this logic? So, argument started with the woman. Then she saw she's losing. Then she started asking him questions about human sexuality. Shankara said whatever he said. Then she went into more details and then she asked, what do you know by experience? Well, Shankara is a brahmachari. Then he knew that this is a trick to defeat him. So he said, I need a month's break. We will hold the argument at this level. We'll start from here after a month. Just give me a month. So, he went to a place where there was a cave. He went inside the cave and told his disciples, no matter what happens, do not allow anybody into this cave because I'm going to leave my body and look for another possibility for some time. Whatever happens, don't let anybody enter this cave. Then it so happened, a king was bitten by a cobra and he died. When a man dies, or even a woman when she dies, we have told you about the pancha pranas. If I go into this detail, it's a very technical question. Are you interested in all this?
Yes.
Oh. Then we have told you about how the life energies manifest in 5 qualities. The prana is happening in 5 different dimensions. It is called pranavayu, samanavayu, apanavayu, udhana and vyana. These 5 manifestations of prana have distinct functions to it. Pranavayu is in charge of respiratory action and thought process and the sensation of touch. When someone dies, how do you check whether someone is alive or dead? You check his breath has stopped. When one's breath has stopped, you say he is dead. The breath has stopped because the pranavayu has begun to exit. After the breath has stopped, it will take up to 1.5 hours for the pranavayu to leave completely. But still the other 4 dimensions will be there. This is why it was set up after the breath stops, you must wait for 1.5 hours minimum before you cremate someone, because he is still alive in many other ways. Only thing is, we want to wait till his sensation is gone so that he doesn't feel the burn. So we are very compassionate. We wait for 1.5 hours so that his thought process, his respiratory action and his sensations are gone. That's not the guy we're talking about. Now, the remaining part of the prana will still be there and the vyana, the last dimension of the prana, could last up to 12 to 14 days. Wherever there is no sensation, whichever part of your body where there is no sensation, you must understand that part of the body has no pranavayu in it. Right now, if you take your hair, if you do this, there's no sensation. Only if you pull it this way, there is sensation. Because here there is no pranavayu, but still it grows. This is the reason why even after somebody is dead, even for a corpse, after few days, still the hair growth happens, nail growth happens. Do you know? Are there any undertakers? No, I'm just asking if it's your profession. After one is dead, up to 12 to 14 days, hair growth will happen simply because this can grow just with vyana, with simple maintenance of the system it'll happen. Though other parts of the body may begin to rot, still vyana functions. So when Shankara left his body, he left his vyana in the system because his body should be maintained. And the king who died of a cobra venom. When cobra venom enters your system, what is happening to the system is your blood begins to coagulate. When blood becomes thicker than what it is, when blood begins to coagulate, breath becomes hard because hello? And circulation are very directly connected. When circulation becomes difficult, it becomes hard to breathe, so you… Oh, please give me a ghost neck microphone. Your breath will stop well before your pranavayu has exited. In many ways, this is an ideal condition for one who wants to… When somebody wants to enter that body, it's ideal. Normally it would give you only 1.5 hours time, but when a person has got cobra's venom in the system, it will give up to 4.5 hours time. So Shankara got this opportunity that there was 4.5 hours time, So he very easily entered that body and he was there to answer these questions experientially, so he went through that process. But the king's people, there were some wise people there. When they saw a man who they had declared dead suddenly sits up and full of energy, and they could recognize by his behavior, it is not the same person, this is someone else in the same body. So what they did, they sent soldiers all over the city saying, whoever is dead, wherever you see a body, burn it immediately. Because now the king has come alive, he should not leave and go back. So soldiers went looking everywhere, any body, anywhere, just burn it quickly, so that if that is the person who has come here, cannot go back, so we still have our king. A different guy, but he looks the same, so what? So is such a thing possible? Yes, very much possible. Is it a feat? It is not really such a feat. A little bit of understanding of the mechanics of how life happens within you. Now, if one wants to enter a living body, someone who is alive, to enter that would take a lot more. To enter one who has just exited, that's much simpler. Within first 1.5 hours, it's ideal because the necessary vacuum has happened, at the same time everything else is on. This was… this used to be a common, not very common, but almost everybody would have heard that something like this happened somewhere. So this is the reason why when somebody's breath begins to recede, in India, they always keep them just outside the house, they will put samrani and they will start chanting something. This is one thing, is to comfort the one who is departing. Another thing is to ensure that somebody else doesn't usurp the body. So, many methods and many protections were created so that these things don't happen. There are many ways to see that such things don't happen, but today it is such a rare occurrence that now you started referring to it as a feat. So maybe you would like to see it happen, but most people are dying with tubes and needles stuck all over them, so I don't think that'll offer much of an opportunity because their breath is not theirs. The machines are breathing for them, so we should go and check and see whether still prana is still on or prana is gone, they're just keeping the breath on through a machine. This is something we can check. I think it's very much possible. Even after pranavayu is completely gone, they're keeping the breath going on and extending it by a few days or hours because it adds up into nice fat bills. It's good for the economy.
Sadhguru, could you tell us something about rinanubandha, or physical memory? Can we avoid this? Is this a curse or a blessing for a spiritual seeker?
Today, lot of sport coaches, people who coach sports persons, are all talking about muscle memory. People understand that if you go by your mental memory, many things cannot be done. So you have to build muscle memory about doing a particular action with a certain level of perfection that unthinkingly you can just do it. So we are conscious that we can build memory into the body. Well, but this need not be discovered now. We know very well, the body is full of memory, every cell in your body carries enormous memory. That's how you have a form and a shape. Depending upon the kind of memory that our parents gave us, accordingly, everything is formed. But now we're talking about imparting memory to the body from outside. Yes, you will see by memory, by muscle memory or by body physical memory, if you go and sit in one place, as you get older, this will get stronger in you, that even in your home, if you start sitting in one particular place, somehow you go round and settle down in the same place. This your dogs do, cats do, other animals do, it's okay for them. A human being is not supposed to be like this, but they have built runanubandha with even, a pillow. So, they can build that physical memory which comforts them, which gives them some sense of belonging. This runanubandha, what it means is, it gives you a certain level of belonging, certain level of being at home. With certain kind of memory if you build in the system, with that kind of person, with that kind of situation, you feel at home. This is what you call as home. Your home is runanubandha. Why one who is on the spiritual path always wanders or moves away from home and keeps minimal contact with those things is because even inanimate things can bind you big time. So runanubandha means body develops a certain memory with things that it's come in touch with. It can be a thing, it can be a place, it can be another person. More and more of this kind of memory means these are all good if you want to be anchored to one place. A ship throws anchor when it doesn't want to sail anywhere. But when it wants to sail, it has to pull up its anchor. Otherwise, it's not going to go anywhere. Even if the winds are great, it will not sail because the anchor is down. So, runanubandha is like anchor. If you don't pull it up, you can flutter your sail as much as you want, but the anchor won't let you travel anywhere. It won't let you be a seafarer. You will be docked. That's the right word, you're docked.
अनंत संसार समुद्रतर नौकायिताभ्यां गुरुभक्तिनाभ्यां वैराग्य साम्राज्य पूजनाभ्यां नमो नमः श्री गुरुपादुकाभ्यां कवित्ववराशिनिशाकराभ्यां दौर्भाग्यदावां बुधमालिकाभ्यां पूरीकृतानं रविवर्धिता षड्